Greetings, welcome to the Citizen exclusive video host, Mpoki Thompson. Today's episode, we're going to talk about digital payments. I am with Victor Makere, Visa's country manager for Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi. Victor, welcome to the Citizen exclusive.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And congratulations for your new appointment.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, a lot is expected from Visa. A lot is expected from you. You're overseeing 4 markets.
Yeah.
Just to set the ball rolling, can you tell us about Visa's strategy, regional strategy to expand digital payments in this part of the region?
I agree. So number one, what we're looking at, if you look at financial inclusion, definitely the world has taken a road to mobile. Right, whereby you have mobile penetration of about 90%. So number one strategy for Visa is to make sure that we bring this solution, mobile solution, to digital payments. So when we say mobile solution means now, you don't really need a plastic. Right now we are going away from a card to what we call credentials. Okay. So what it means now, you can enable your phone to be able to pay. Now, every time I tell you, there's high likely chance you will lose or you'll forget your wallet, but you forgetting your phone, it will not be possible. And when you realize it, you go back for it. So mobile is where we're going, and we have exciting solutions to it. So there's one called tokenization. So tokenization is enabling your NFC capable phone to be able to tap on a POS machine and make payments. Now, those are things that if you heard of things like Apple Pay, Google Pay, those are the technology that we will enable the financial ecosystem for Tanzania to deploy. Okay. The other one is definitely driving acceptance. So as much as you get to mobile money operators having merchants of about 1.2 million, and then you have POS having only 10,000 in the country, the number is a little bit skewed. So if you don't have enough POS in the country, definitely you don't get card transactions. And we are going to deploy it by also doing mobile. Number one, getting our online platform up and running. And we have our own in-house platform called CyberSource that enables online payments. Okay. So number one, like for example, tourism and immigration. But number two, also enabling merchants to be able to collect using their mobile phone. So instead of them getting that device, which probably might be very expensive to a small business, they can now download an application and get it in their mobile phone. And someone with a card or with a phone can come and tap in the phone and receive payments. Okay, so those are the strategies.
You operate in 200 countries globally, with over 130 million merchants, and connected to around close to 15,000 financial institutions. I just want to, what is the size of the market when we compare, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and Uganda? What is the size market, and what are the prospects in terms of the growth that you have seen, the trajectory?
So an earlier conversation that we had is that, again, I'll go back to acceptance, or rather accepting payments. The number right now, we have SMEs around 3 million, right? 3 million SMEs in Tanzania. And around 1.2 million is already taken up by mobile network. So for us cards, we have POS that are operating around 10,000. So the potential for Visa to grow in Tanzania is really vast in that. Number two, also the ability to do international collections. So thanks to the government initiatives, especially into tourism and royal tour promotion, you have seen growth of tourists coming from 1.5 million to last year, it was close to 5 million. So it means also enabling Tanzanian business to collect from these tourists is also something that is key, and we need to drive it. So definitely the number is big, and that's what we are looking for. Okay.
So you've talked about the small and medium-sized enterprises, and it is a growing market. However, there are multiple pain points that they do have, such as access to capital, but also seamless payments. How are you sorting out, how are you addressing the SMEs that still rely on using cash? Because they do have a clientele that pays with cash. What is the strategy around that?
So strategy around it is looking at the biggest problem right now of SME not getting loans or getting capital. Yeah. It's not that there's no capital to give. It's that the institution, both banks or even manufacturers, cannot get assured a certainty in terms of if they give this capital, will it be paid back? Yeah.
So they're being risk averse.
Yes, risk averse. So what we are coming in as a digital player, and data is our biggest area, because the way we do digital acceptance, or rather digital payments, for us, we really do clear categorization of businesses and clear identification of businesses. So those two enables various things. Number one, protection in terms of fraud, right? That even if this person would be collecting money on our channels, fraud will reduce. But number two, which is big, is giving banks a surety. Like if you do it, because if you do cash and you collect 10 million, and then you go to a bank and say, hey, you know, last week I collected 10 million, they'll tell you, where is it? And then you don't have it. So with our digital solution, we can be able to track it and come back and say, hey, you know, Mpoki is running a certain business and is collecting 10 million. Why don't you give him 2 million and then let's see how much it can be? And not necessarily to have even cash. You can go to manufacturers and say, hey, you manufacturer, instead of giving cash, you can give stock to this retailer and then get the retailer to resell the products, and then he benefits. So we believe it's a very key market, and we can really drive a lot.
Okay, so you've talked about the risk mitigation. Yes. However, when you talk about the SME and the entire digital payments ecosystem, there are still regulatory and even infrastructural impediments that are making this sector not grow as it is expected in this part of the world. Yeah. So what are the key collaborations that you're having with the government, but also the regulators, to create this seamless and very conducive environment for digital payments?
Oh, okay. So good thing that you will see very soon, we'll be doing things in agriculture. Like because we number one is to get to accept and appreciate that the problems are not the same across all sectors. So our approach, number one, is to do sector-based approach. So agriculture is one area that we are going to do deployment, whereby we have done a very good, vast analysis onto it. And we think we can partner up with the Ministry of Agriculture and partner up with the banks, like get everybody into one room and then have a solution that will enable that. But in terms of regulation, I think Bank of Tanzania has done a lot. Like the last parliamentary session, they had reduced VAT for digital payments. Yeah. So those are initiating, or rather promoting digital movement, or rather movement of payments into digital area. So if you say into regulation, definitely us having office here in Tanzania, number one, gets us to have a lot of continuous discussion with the government through BOT and also through TBA and TAMNOA, which are the associations for mobile operators and banks, whereby we will do a number of researches and then come up with findings and then deploy a solution. And we believe because of our expertise and our knowledge, we can provide that. And even some things that might be as easy as just saying, hey, you know, in Brazil, they do this and they have done it well. So they had this challenge and this were the solution. So instead of us doing researches and everything, we could just pick some things that are worked in other countries and deploy it. That's the beauty of us.
Okay, so but Tanzania is going to be home to 100 million people by 2050. Yeah. And Africa generally is going to have the world's largest workforce, youth workforce. Yeah. Now, what is the plan for Visa to ensure that as you're looking at, for foresight, how are you factoring in this population growth and turning it into dividend?
So number one is that population as it is right now, 60% are under 18, right? 18, 20, under 18. Age, yes. They're youth generation. So what does that tell you? And then here you have lower death rates. So it tells you on the 100, the current Gen Z are the ones that needs to be uplifted. Now, let's look at Gen Z now. They're more social media. They're more of digital averse, savvy. And that is an area that we need to get into place and really collaborate. Now we have technologies like artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
It's an area that we have invested a lot onto, and we have tons and tons of solutions to it. So you come to, let's say, fraud, right? We have solutions whereby it can auto-detect, because fraudsters have a certain pattern, right? So our system has the capability of detecting those kind of patterns.
Yeah.
Today, you cannot be all of a sudden a guy in Soma or a guy who was just selling beans for like maybe a million or two. Now he's collecting 10 million, and it's fine. So those are the trigger points, and AI is a solution that values that. And we have solutions like Visa Protect on it. But also in terms of now payments, as I said earlier, on mobile payments, there we go. We have nowadays, we have done a recent revolutionary payment solution that we have, is that enabling AI in terms of payments. So just expecting yourself, like in the platforms like ChatGPT, you will nowadays it has become a consultant, right?
Yeah, indeed.
So my area, my dad, whenever he wants to go somewhere, he will call someone and say, hey, I want to go to Mwanza, what do you recommend? And my generation was, I'm going to Mwanza, let me Google, right? But the generation now is, let me ask ChatGPT. Exactly. Which I was just making a joke the other time. Now they become more closer than actual human beings. So now enabling ChatGPT to now get the final milestone of payments. So just imagine you say, I'm going to let's say even Uganda, Kampala. I'm going to Kampala, and I have a budget of 1,000, maybe 100,000, or maybe 1 million and Tanzanian shillings, and I want to say maybe for X days. What are the recommendations that you take? It will give you. But the problem is, once it gives you, it'll just tell you, this is the site, go book, and these are the prices. So the solutions that we have deployed is that it will now, the AI would now give you an enablement. So we have like an agent, an AI agent that will assist you in terms of making payments to those different merchants at once, instead of you going to one merchant by the other. So simplifying payments to be like as narrow and as few steps as possible.
So now you've talked about what the future looks like. But actually, we are living in the future of AI, generative AI, and what have you. Financial institutions and also other sectors are now grappling with that and trying to turn that into an opportunity. How do you see the future further evolving when it comes to digital payments and how consumers relate to it in the Tanzanian market, Rwanda, and Uganda? Are there similar patterns, or does each distinct market, work at its own pace?
So it works at different paces, and technically it is highly also driven based on the economic activities that are taking place in that particular country. So you would see the likes of us, right? We have very heavy into tourism, heavy in agriculture, which agriculture can be alongside East Africa, but there's some other landlocked countries, like when you say Congo, it's not tourism as such. Probably it's mining and the rest. So the type of solutioning that tends to take place tends to vary. And that's why we also have different solutions based and catered for different sectors.
Okay. Well, Victor, that marks the end of this interview.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you. Being here. Sorry.
Indeed. That's a wrap for today's episode. We were with Victor Makere, the country manager for Visa. That's for Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi. You were with me, your host, Mpoke Thompson. Adios.